welcome back guys, back on the Corolla again. Hope you're not getting too bored of the content of the Corolla. We're enjoying the progress. On the last video you saw the front end go together, which is nice. Still waiting for some wheel nuts, and we're still waiting for some spacers and stuff, and some bearing bits, but that's fine. Right, this video we're gonna concentrate on getting the 4-link in the car, and maybe getting some panels, and then go from there. So we're gonna get, obviously in the last video you saw we cut all the brackets. We got a bit of work to do to the brackets because Plasma made a few mistakes, which is fine. We're going to clean everything up. So we're going to clean all this. This is all like the gussets that go kind of in between, and go from there. The other thing is, I said to James, if it's too hard to draw, don't, you know, leave more material on, which he has. So this has got too much on here, so we can dress that down. So we're going to clean these up first, and then we're going to put, I'll show you a little trick we're going to do. We're going to put some threaded bar straight through all 4 brackets with the right spacing, and then we're going to offer them under the car, and that will give us a good reference point to know that it's dead true across the car and we've got something to work from. So what we do is we'll put all the 4 brackets together with some threaded bar, and we'll tack them to the chassis and then start squaring it up and make sure it's dead square in the car. Right, so let's get cracking. Quick mention about these parts. They're from a company called Old School Body Parts, and you can see the quality of it. So we've got them. That's the rear, that's the front one still wrapped up at the moment, and that's a front one unwrapped, and you can see. So we're going to get these door skins on later on in the build. Obviously the doors are all here, and the other thing I bought off them was the stainless steel bumpers, so if I ever have a crash or an incident, I can kind of straighten them, get them better. They ain't gonna rust, and they follow the right lines. So I didn't order any of the rubbers on the ends because I've already got all them from the original bumpers, and so yeah, quite chuffed with them really. So make sure you go and they're on Facebook as under Old School Body Parts. They do a lot of other Corolla bits as well, like early K20s and K30s. So anything like that, message them on Facebook and go from there. This isn't a paid promotion. I just thought they was really good that someone's making K70 stuff again, and it's helping us a lot keep these cars on the road. So yeah, so we'll get into them into a later episode when we come start doing the bodywork on the car, and we'll go from there. So yeah, make sure old school body parts. Right, we got all them brackets cleaned up, and this is my kind of little jig, you want to call it, to put it into the car. Just some threaded bar. Now bear in mind, this will not come out after. I'm gonna have to cut through these 2 bits of threaded bar after, which is fine, so I can get them out, because obviously they won't slide out through the side. So that's my little jig holding that up, and that's kind of basically ready to go be clamped into the car. But before I do all that, I'm going to make my life a bit easier and take these bits of the car out, because I'm not going to use this bit. I'm going to make a piece of metal here with a fold to make this panel from the top of this tube and this panel be one piece. So I'm going to take this mount off completely, and I'm going to drill all the spot welds out and the spot weld inside here, take this one off and the other side, and then we can go from there. Rusty's loving life with Darren throwing the ball. Right, we've got all these brackets all mounted into the car level. As you can see, it's all level. Kind of checked everything on a few angles, done a lot of measuring, and so we're ready to tack them in now. And then we've got to do some more drawing, because these are actually slightly wider apart than I originally planned. So the other bits that James drew are actually wrong, so we're going to get him to make them a little bit wider. Not his fault, just my fault really, just working it out. But yeah, it's going to be it should be quite smart and tie in really well. I'm going to double check again, measuring, and then I'll start tacking it in. And then once we've got that tacked in, we can start placing it and welding it into the car, and going from there. So we're going to have rose joints. The reason why these brackets are quite far apart anyway is where the rose joints, because we've got like a staggered holes here, the rose joint and the nut will go in if we move the, you know, inside there. So we've got to move tolerance. So right, let's get that tacked in. Right, I've just done these 2 uprights, so they're completely in now and done. I did make a little bit of a mistake and should have probably put them in before, so they were tricky to get in, but we got them in, and they welded it all up nice, so that's all nice and strong now. James has just done another drawing for me for these gussets, so I'm going to get it up in the air now and weld in the gussets onto the bottom of here and here, and tie it into the chassis on the body here as well. So I'm going to get that done. That's the next job. Well, got them brackets all tapped in with them, most of the gussets in now, and that's all good. But we're gonna swap over to the race car for work now. So we're gonna make these drag racing wheels off the back of the race car into bead locks. As you can see, I bought like a kit that I'm gonna weld in. So I'm gonna take these apart now, take the tyres off, weld these in, and we'll have some bead lock rear wheels. So we've got all the wheels and tyres and the valves and everything stripped out of them. I'm going to leave the centre in for now. The centre will be coming out after. But what I've got to do is I've got to take a little bit of this lip off first, so it's nice and clean. I'm going to also clean in here so we've got no polishing or any crap that will go in the weld, and then we can get that nicely welded into there, and that's that job done then in theory. And then the wheels can go off and be a little bit done differently, should we say. So that's the next mission. So get them all cleaned up, get that welded in, and then yeah, we can start stripping the centers out. Right, well, we got them wheels all welded up now, so they are completely sorted and basically ready for the next process. Now we're going to get back onto the car, well, axle in fact. We're going to take the wheels back off the axle, and we're going to take these mounts off which were originally for release springs. We're following the centre of the axle, which I'm pretty sure is still there, and basically we can start lining up the 4-link brackets and put them on and kind of tack them on. Now they're going to have to be sliced open, obviously, because the axle bearing ends are already actually on the axle, so we're going to have to slice these open. So I'll probably come across there and there and there, basically take that off and then slide it on from the back and then tack them on. I've also got some bracing to go on the back, so we can kind of tack them on and tack the bracing on, but I won't probably put them on and tack them in place. I'll probably get them to rotate a bit, because what I'll probably do is offer the axle back under the car, do some measuring, because we want the pinion angle to be dead true, square to the floor and the chassis to 0. And then when we come to playing around with adjustment, we've got maximum adjustment on both rose joints, so we're going to get the 4-link arms right. We've got all the axle cleaned up, that's all completely fresh now. I've also cut one of the brackets, and as you can see, I've got to slot this and then it will slot onto the axle. So now I've cut one, I've marked it, it's going to be, this is number 1, that's number 1, so we'll take that out of the equation. I'll template this onto every one of these and cut them all exactly the same and mark each one to every point. Now I've also worked out the distance between this is the wrong spacer at the moment. Worked out a distance between there, the width of that, so that's going to be the inside width of the between these brackets, which is exactly 38mm. So we'll probably do it a little bit more than 38, a tiny bit more, just so it's got a little bit of tolerance, so you don't want to be struggling to get it in when you're adjusting it. So we'll do that as well. So we're going to cut all these mounts off, we'll get them onto the axle, weld the pieces back on so they can kind of swing on the axle, and then basically we can go from there. We've progressed a bit since then. We've got the brackets kind of on the axle, and we've made them so they rotate and stuff. I have had them tapped on, but taking them back off again, get the angles right. I've also done all the bracing, cut all the bracing that Jane threw up for me, and on the other side as well. Basically we're going to get it up in we're going to tack these brackets on now. I've done all the measurements, got all the angle finders on there to get these dead level, dead square, dead in the middle where they need to be, and lined up with the chassis where they need to be exactly as well. So we're going to tack these on here now, and then basically we'll work into the 4-link length and go from there. So the axle's in position now, all the brackets are tacked up and in the right place. We've got the diff angle set to 0. I've also been working on how high the prop shaft loop's going to be, because what this panel's going to do, this panel's going to sweep down to here, and the tunnel's actually going to come right into it. So we've got to get the pattern for the bead rolls when we get into that. So my mission today is going to be, we're going to put the down bars. We're actually going to join the cage to the chassis now. So obviously it's joined here, but it needs to, once we've got this in, it's fully triangulated and nothing's going to move. So we're going to get that in now, which is quite exciting. And then once we've got them in, we're going to weld all the 4-link brackets in at the front. So they're completely ready. And then we're waiting on tube for the 4-link then. So we'll come back into the video when that turns up. And hopefully we can make some serious progress and get the back axle with fully floating. And then we're going to be waiting on suspension, but I can put some temporary bars in. Down bars are made, notches are perfect, how I wanted it, dead square. So you can see. Hard to do with not enough hands. Yep, so happy with that. So we've got them down bars in. We're going to tack them in now, and then probably going to be fully welded in anyway. All them tubes are in now, and luckily enough didn't burn the headline in, so they look good, and it's all tied it right into the chassis now, so that's the main part in. I've also welded these all in completely, so they went in quite nice, both sides, and all the bracketry. So now I want to say a massive thank you to Wayne Allman at Intergalactic Customs. I've been trying to find some tube. My dealer hasn't been able to get it for me for a good few weeks. I've ordered it, but it hadn't come, and I want to get the car on the floor. So the goal today is to get the car on the floor. I went to Wayne, I rang him up and I said, have you got any of this tube? He said, yeah, I don't need it for about 2 or 3 weeks. So I was like, brilliant. So I've got I went over to his last night. He stayed late for me last night, so I could go and get it, bless him. So we're going to start putting the 4-link together, and we've done some drawings. I've got my mate Nick making me some spacers, and we're going to basically work out the bottom 4-link arm length and then the top, and then we're going to, once we've got that somewhere near, and we weld all them up completely, we'll offer them in the car, make sure everything's completely square, and then we can start making a Panhard rod. I was trying to get all fancy with it, and gonna do like a wishbone like they do on a drag race car, but the cost of a wishbone is quite expensive, and I don't really need to go that far. It's just me trying to be kind of, I don't know, extra fancy, I suppose. So let's try and keep it to a budget. We'll do a Panhard rod, be plenty strong enough. I don't know which way I'm going to run it yet. I think I'm going to go across the top of the 4-link, but I've got to work out how it's going to work with the articulation of the axle. So it's either that, or I go across the top of the axle or around the back. So I've got to work that out yet, but let's get a 4-link somewhere near done, and then we can get this slightly closer to hitting the floor. Hopefully today the car will be rolling. So let's get involved and get it done. Well, all the 4 links in, and we are proper happy with that. Obviously there is I do want to make some different 4-link bars in future. I want to experiment with titanium. It's going to be something that's going to be way in the future, so these are kind of like a temporary 4-link, but yeah, we've got them in, they're all the right length, so I'm happy with that. Now we're going to work out the 5th link, which is going to be tricky. So I think, looking at it, I'm going to make a mount that bolts onto here, reuse this bolt with a little bit of a shoulder on here, so it's got something so it won't like rotate that way, with a bracket and a bolt that way, and then it's going to go off of that one and meet that one over there. That's the plan, I think. Right, so we've done all the obviously we've done all the 4-link, and I've actually done the length of the new Panhard rod as well. Now I'm going to show you what I've basically got planned for this. So this is obviously, it's all over the top, but kind of how it works. So this is going to go, this bolt is going to basically use, it's going to have a plate on the bottom there, and that's going to be used on that bolt basically. Ignore that bit. And then that is going to go across, and we'll do the same on that one over there. Right, so I've got all them mounts in, and these are bolted on, and you can see it's got like a locator that lines up with the edge of the 4-link brackets, and the same on that side, so it'll stop it twisting once it's in, so you can kind of see where it's going to be. So right, we're going to try and get that in now. So we've got the Panhard rod. I'm hoping everything should be okay to go in. I don't see why not. Might have to adjust the Panhard rod after, but that's fine. Just get the axle in the right place. Right, time to make some temporary shockers. We can put it on the floor, let's see what it looks like, and give us some more reference points for other things. So that's a massive thing off the list. We're going to have plenty of room. That's basically within like an inch, probably. I've got an inch, like I've probably got another 2 inches, but I've only got about an inch left on the arch of height, so that's going to work out really well. Let's give us plenty of room here, so yeah, super happy with that. I think that's going to be giving us so much more room here. So I mean, I don't know whether I'm going to run a box, probably run a box at the back and not run an exhaust box here, but we'll see what room. I've got to chop the floor up here. We're going to have an exhaust tunnel here, so we'll see what room we've got to play with. We'll go from there. So there you have it, the Corolla is finally on the floor. I'm taking it on the floor. Obviously I've got no rear shockers and a few things, but that's going to be basically the rear ride height. The front's got to come down. It has actually bottomed out the coilover on the adjustment, but there's no weight in the front, so we've got to bear that in mind, and there's no doors on it or anything. But yeah, I'm super chuffed with that. I'm really happy with how the back end kind of looks and where that's going, and like, you know, looks real hot rod-ish, which is kind of what I was going for in a way, and of what I do. So yeah, quite chuffed with all that. Looks really smart. Can't wait to start paneling it in. Obviously got a few spaces we're waiting on, which is fine, so we'll get them on the case. But we're going to call it at the end of that video. Obviously it's a massive milestone for me and massive motivation to see it on the floor. I'm super buzzing about it. I'm really happy with the rear height and sill to floor height as well. So that'll be quite nice. It's not going to be like my Celica low because of the design shape of the car, but it's going to be nice and low, and hopefully we can chuck all the exhaust stuff and make a real nice height. Get that out of the way as well. So yeah, hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and also go and check my merch. I've got loads of merch for sale on the website. Anything like that will really help me get this build going. It is kind of hurting me a little bit now with the cost, because I don't like to cut corners and I don't like buying crap. So just little bits like brake discs and silly stuff I've had machined, and just silly stuff like that. It's just costing me a lot of money. So if you can go and help, like, subscribe, buy some merch, help us out, that'd be brilliant. Thanks for watching, appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. I might be working on some proper cars again.